something like high blood pressure, and you need to take medication for that.
That's more like a maintenance drug, so it might be cheaper.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, and generally we've discovered when you do pay out of pocket, or if you're a cash patient, the rates suddenly plummet. I'm not sure why, but that's the way it works. And so I'm pretty certain that's the way it works with prescriptions too. But honestly, we haven't really. I guess it hasn't really come up.
I'm just watching my two co-hosts just scrolling on their phones.
I'm doing business.
I mean, really, the radio show. I want to go on Facebook right now.
I'm multitasking. So, have you guys ever had an experience of someone being sick on the road and having to pull over or have emergency or anything like that?
Not really. We've had stomach bugs and stuff like that hit the household since we've been on the road, but generally we have the flexibility of just staying where we are if that happens. And kids, I don't know what it is, but they always seem to get sick in the middle of the night when you're not expecting it. So
of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun to deal with sickness anywhere, but in an RV, we're in a small space. You can't really, you can't really escape from the sickness. It's
to run through all of you at one time, get it over with at once.
Yeah, it generally goes through us pretty quick.
What about COVID? That's one thing I didn't ask you. What about COVID? During when the pandemic was really a thing.
So. Yeah, I mean, we experienced all different levels of precautions and everything like that throughout the country. Most of the places we were in during COVID, quite honestly, we avoided places that were on complete lockdown.
Sure. Yeah.
We tried to go to places that were offered us a little bit more freedoms, and not to get down that tangent, but that was kind of a eye opener for us, is that what you guys experienced in Connecticut, it definitely was not the normal protocol, I guess you'd call it, for COVID.
Well, how so?
Throughout the country. Most of the states that we were in were way more open. You didn't have to wear masks unless you wanted to, and things just didn't shut down like they did in Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts. Every once in a while we'd walk into that. Like, for example, New Mexico was pretty strict, and we went in an entire year. I guess it would have been 2021, where things are still kind of locked down, and we were in states like South Dakota, for example, that just they kind of left it up to the people to make their own choices. And once we got into New Mexico, we went right back to seeing "Do not enter without a mask" signs, stuff like that. And
well, they want to keep their 14 people alive.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, we experienced COVID. We I believe we've had it at some point, but it's never really been a thing for us.
Yeah, good thing you weren't in California when that was going on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of people we know that are on the road now, they ended up buying houses during COVID just because so many campgrounds around them were closed and kicking people out and stuff like that, because it's still considered more of a vacation thing. So
you're staying in more campgrounds than parking lots, right?
Yeah. We've only done the parking lot thing once or twice. Harvest Host is it's a better option for us. We enjoy staying on farms, meeting people. Harvest Host has vineyards. They have breweries that you can stay at, and it's all for just It's a one yearly cost of like $80, and then they expect you to spend $20 to $30 at the business as a thank you for letting us stay here. So
it's kind of like a timeshare for campers.
Kind of. Yeah, it's great. The businesses feel a little bit more secure than like a Walmart parking lot. That's super popular, staying at Walmarts, but staying at smaller businesses, they tend to have better cameras, better lighting.
Do you consider yourself a camper?
No. we don't do the whole campfire thing every night. It's kind of one of those things that a lot of people are like, well, you must like s'mores, like people get us s'more kits for Christmas, stuff like that. No, we don't. No. We generally don't. I mean, we hang out outside, but it's not what you'd envision as camping.
Gotcha. Speaking of what, let's see, there's been a question up from Victoria. I put it up, but our conversation went elsewhere. But I want to make sure I get it asked to you now. Are you planning to go to? Is that Pismo Beach, or Solvang?
I've heard of Pismo Beach. I haven't heard of Solvang. Yeah, I mean, if we're in the area, we'll definitely go. I'm not sure whereabouts in California either one of those are, so I'm not sure where they are on our timeline. I know we're going to be in pretty cold weather coming up, so I don't know if we'll be going to any beaches anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, if we're in the area and it happens to be something that we see, yeah, we'll definitely go.
Melissa, do you have like a mother question, or something like a mother would ask? I would just think that
I can't think of anything.
No. So what happens when you and Courtney fight in a camper on the highway?
On the highway, yeah.
One's in a tent, one's in a camper. I don't know.
Pull over! I'm riding back in the truck. I'm riding back in the trailer.
No, it's the same as if we were in the house.
You.
It's funny. She drives the rig 100% of the time, and we always say that it's better for our marriage if she drove and I sat in the passenger seat, because she doesn't. She's very good at backseat driving, and yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Melissa doesn't say a word.
Really?
I'm a horrible backseat driver. I'm terrible. I know it's.
He won't get in a car if he can't drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Courtney's kind of the same way. I mean, I drive not every time, but a lot of times when we're not towing the rig. But yeah, she likes to voice her opinions on driving, I guess that's the way you'd say it.
Now, if you guys are driving on the road or something, did the and I know this is like really big time illegal, but do the kids hang out in the trailer when you're pulling it?
No, somebody told me the other day that's legal in California.
Really?
But I don't know. We have to put our GoPro in here and see what it's like. We won't do it. We won't let the kids back here. I think we would panic the entire time too. I'm pretty certain it's fairly loud in here when we're driving down the road. I doubt it would be very comfortable.
Got it.
I was gonna say, traveling with all those kids all that time, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, we keep the drives short, so it's the little ones, they start to get really antsy at like that 3-hour mark. So we found that if we can get out of the truck within 3 hours, we're pretty good. And they're at that point. We had about 3 hour and 20-minute drive yesterday, and both our Tina and Barrett were both shocked that we were at our destination already. The time just goes by so fast for them at this point.
Oh, nice.
Now, here's one. Every time you come on, there's always another question that I find, or 2 or 3 or 10 that I've never asked you before, because I just find this to be so incredibly fascinating.
Yep.
When have you and Courtney had a conversation? You probably have, but about when you know that this is over and it's time to settle in a house somewhere?
Not really. You'd be shocked to hear what our next plan is in the next 3 years, I'd say. But we
air balloon.
No, we're leaning towards the catamaran and sailing the world option.
Really?
Yeah. We have a couple friends that have done it. Yeah. So there's a baby step you can take into sailing. But basically, they call it the Great Loop. People meet up in the Keys and they go up the east coast of the U.S. and then cross over to the Great Lakes, then down Mississippi, and then back to the Keys. And that's kind of like the first step a lot of people take, because you can see land almost the entire time, and you can bail out if you need to, and you're within range of grocery stores. But we watch a lot of families on YouTube, which is exactly how we learned a lot of things about RVing, and it looks like something that we would love to do. We have to do. It's, I guess, on the surface what we are planning so far. We haven't
So the
dove
kids would
too
go
deep
too?
into it. Oh yeah,
There's always
Yep.
seafood.
Yeah. The fish for your
Yeah.
food or don't eat. Yeah.
And from what
Hope
we
you don't have a
understand,
fish allergy.
with sailing, there's that sense of community, just like with RVing, and a lot of people end up sailing together. So sounds isolated, but from what I understand, it's not that bad.
Oh, wow. So it'd be another like 3-hour trip per time, or
No, it would just be. So what people do is they call them passages, where you go from one country to another. So that's your big travel, and you're in the open blue water for days, and then you get to the marina you're going to stay at and tour the country.
wow.
So yeah.
Will you be naming a soccer ball Wilson?
Hopefully not. But yeah,
Just
I
don't
mean,
do it
that's
during
a
hurricane
ways
season.
away. We actually want to wait till our kids are older to even seriously consider that, just so that they can
Yeah, that
help
makes
out on
sense.
the boat.
You're gonna need other people to swab the deck.
Yeah, right.
Can't do that with a 4-year-old.
Right, exactly.
Anybody have any other questions? Because I just find this. I would want to do. Melissa's like, no. Her parents kind of do it now.
I think when we get older, it would be something. I've mentioned it
Huh?
before doing it, but
It's an amazing way to live, to be honest. I mean, if we don't like an area, we just move. We can see friends
Makes
and family
sense.
anytime we want. You know, like
you're like,
it's
honey,
just one of
this
those-
sucks. Let's go. Pack it up.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. A lot of times we'll look at the weather and we'll see a rainy 3 days, and we'll be like, yeah, we're getting out of here. There's no point in us sticking around, or get stuck. I was telling Mike, we were supposed to be here. Well, we were supposed to be in Porterville Friday, I think it was, or Saturday. So whatever day last week, we were supposed to arrive at our next stop. But California's just got so much rain this past week that the roads are washed out. There's flooding everywhere.
Yeah,
So we were hanging out in Arizona. Yeah, we were hanging out in Arizona. It's bone dry and 80 degrees. So we're like, yeah, we'll just stay here.
No
did.
flooding in Arizona, right?
Nope.
No, not at all.
Nope.
So you've been in places where there's no Wi-Fi, and you're like, let's go. We're out of here.
So yeah, so we had that experience last year. We had booked a camp spot in Coral Pink Sand Dunes in Utah, and this isn't the only spot, but this is the most memorable because
there was no Wi-Fi.
all the reviews, there was nothing. There was no cell service, nothing. And normally we've been able to manage with that, and we kind of just do our thing on the road. If one of us has to work, we'll bring our hotspot and do it on the road.
Yeah.
But this place, the nearest cell service was 45 minutes away from our campsite. So we basically had to say bye to everybody that we talked to regularly on text that evening. And then once we got to our campsite, we didn't have any way to communicate with anybody. So we ended up getting Starlink right after that.
Oh, okay.
And it's opened up. Mexico was only possible because we had Starlink. So we have cell service pretty much everywhere. Speeds vary from place to place, which I didn't know about Starlink, but yeah.
Wow.
Here's a question from Victoria. That would be epic. If you need a nanny, I'm game. She just wants to leave her family. So there you go. Laura wants to know, have you and the family experienced any bad, scary incidents while traveling? I know of one in Mexico.
Yeah.
Talking about. Unless there are others you want to mention.
Yeah,
hopefully not too many.
Yeah, so we got in a car accident in Mexico. That was scary at the time, but thankfully no damage, no real. We had a scrape on our truck, but the guy that hit us ended up rolling his car. And as aggressive as it was, I thought when we pulled over, he tried to pass us in an illegal pass, like in a no passing zone, while we were passing bicyclists on the road. And he was just going way too fast and being impatient. And he rolled his car at least twice. And I thought for sure when I had to walk up to his truck that I was walking up to somebody who had passed away. So that was scary, but he ended up being okay. His truck was demolished. But other than that, I mean, we've been in areas that we didn't really get the warm and fuzzies about, but nothing's ever happened. Trying to think.
What about the time what Courtney had to drive backwards out of something?
Yes. So we learned a life lesson with this lifestyle where we went down about 2.5 mile road, a forest road that was lined with aspen trees, one way dirt road. And it was supposed to be a camping area. And we did see 2 campsites, but we passed them because all the reviews said if you keep going, the cell service got better. And we didn't have Starlink at the time. And Courtney had to work a lot. So we got about 2.5 miles down this road. It was windy. There's cliffs on one side. And all of a sudden the road was washed out. So completely like impassable. We couldn't continue if we wanted to. So that was a marriage test because Courtney had to back out of that road. About 2.5 miles. It took us almost 3 hours to do it.
With a trailer?
With a trailer.
With the trailer.
Ooh.
It was brutal.
Do they have a divorce court nearby, or was it
It was one of those things. I do all the route planning and I picked the campsites, so that was on me. And it looked like, based on the reviews of this spot, everybody said it's perfect for any size trailer, any size RV. But the reviews were 4 years old, and I missed that little detail. And
okay?
when COVID happened, a lot of these free, I guess you'd say government maintained areas, they just stopped maintaining them. And a lot of them, they haven't gone back to maintaining them yet. So,
wow. So she must be pretty skilled at that trailer work, huh?
oh, she's very good.
Good.
Is she right there?
No, Tegan just got up.
Oh, all right. I thought he was like, yeah, she's really good. Look over. Did I say that okay, honey? Okay.
No, hopefully she'll stay in bed for a little longer.
So anybody run across the kind of looking like Uncle Eddie from Vacation? Walking out in the road going, shitter's full.
Exactly what I was picturing.
Brian, is that you?
No. No. But yeah, I don't think we've had anything extremely scary happen. It's just really just being in an area that we just didn't love or didn't feel safe, and we just move on.
You've been in places where like this place isn't appropriate for kids?
No, so we were supposed to go to Cabo, and we were in La Paz. Cabo's the southernmost tip of the Baja Peninsula, and we were told basically it's like it has the Vegas vibe, and it's not really kid friendly. So we ended up just skipping it. But no, we haven't been to Vegas yet. We haven't been to anywhere that has been really inappropriate. I guess we haven't really spent any time in New Orleans either. Those the only 2 big spots that I can think of that would be sketchy for kids. But
yes, Tegan starts catching beads. That's a whole different experience. Dad, you didn't tell me about this.
Right. We've been to Louisiana. Mark that state off. I don't know. It wasn't our favorite. Super buggy, super humid. Yeah.
So now I know. I mean, you talk about what you have for income and stuff like that. What are other things that people do that? Because you talk about, there's so many other people in this community.
Yeah.
That, travel. They come in, they go. What are other things that people do to make a living while living this lifestyle?
So I'd say a lot of guys are in IT, any sort of IT consulting, website development, that type of thing. But a profession that is extremely popular for anybody that, even if you don't have construction background, is RV tech work. There's so many RVs on the road now, and there's a tech school that you can go to and get certified. I can't remember the exact length of the class, but I believe it's about 2 weeks long to get your initial certification, and then there's certifications beyond that. But I'd say that's extremely popular as well. And most of the people that are RV techs, if they want to work, they're going to work. There's so much work out there.
What do they do as an RV tech?
Fix anything that has to do with an RV, or
it's only 2-week class.
Yeah.
So you're talking like the simple,
technical
stuff, not the motor and all that, right?
Yeah, no, not the motor. And generally for just the first class, there's no AC work you can do.
Yeah.
You can't rebuild a refrigerator or anything like that. You're really just fixing things that break on an everyday basis.
It's like an outlet and a hookup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple stuff like that. And the pay, I mean, obviously you're working for yourself with that type of job, so it fits the lifestyle very well. But those RV techs, they charge anywhere from $90 to $130 an hour, and they can work wherever they want. So
they like travel with your group and they just out service themselves.
Yep. Usually they have some sort of vehicle magnet on their truck or something like that, and as soon as they pull into a campground, they are getting calls from people that saw them pull in, that don't want to move their RV and want somebody to come fix stuff. So
now, do you? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Do you find like when you stop and you're along with this community that instead of buying things, do you guys find like people want to barter? Like kind of like I'll trade you this Sherpa for that pot roast or something, or
yeah, I'd say there's some bartering. I mean, yeah, and a lot of times people will trade skills that they have as far as fixing RVs. They'll fix an RV for whatever else they can barter with. But yeah, it happens.
All right, that's pretty cool. Sounds like that. I was mentioning to Kathy, I want to do that when we don't have to worry about kids and work anymore. So,
can I come with you because she don't want to go?
Yeah, do a pineapple at home.
No, it's not like that. Oh my God, Brian! I gotta ask. I have to ask this question because I learned something about pop culture.
Yep.
No. Well, TikTok taught me.
Yeah.
So
I know where you're going with this.
Huh?
I know where you're going with this.
Well, I'm sorry, Brian. I couldn't hear you.
I said I know where you're going with this.
You know what? Okay.
At least I think I do.
Yeah. So, are there RVs or campers, trailers, trucks, or whatever that are within the same?
I'll say it. Are there swinging trailers? Do they like get together and
are there the upside down pineapple hanging out there? What?
Like special groups?
I am pretty certain that is a real thing and that it does exist. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. Rachel just says, I can't believe he went there. It's a thing, though. It's
gotta be.
It's not our thing, but
it's gotta be a thing.
But who am I to judge, right?
No.
So okay, so you've seen the upside down pineapple and women wearing the upside down pineapple earrings. Oh, and there's another one. There's the scrunchies on the antennas.
Oh, what?
I haven't heard that one.
A scrunchie? What's a scrunchie?
Well, the loofahs or whatever.
Loofah. Okay.
The spongy thingies, that you get it like
mesh sponges.
Yeah. They're on like car antennas and stuff like that. That supposedly is a signal as well.
Why don't you just put a magnet on the side of the car?
Right.
And it's funny because you get on TikTok, right, and you see, of course, these this buff couple coming out and going, hey, my husband lets me do what I want. My wife lets me do what I want. But really, in reality, you got Fred and Ethel walking out going about 700 pounds going, let's go! Yeah, sorry, man. Rachel says, oops, got to get that off my car now.
I was just going to say it's funny because a lot of people would display stuff like that and not, it's innocent. You can pick up a flamingo.
They're drying it out.
Sure. Yeah, right. We're just healthy and clean. That's all it is. All right, Brian, hopefully we'll get you in here again and check in with you.
Definitely.
Of course, to make sure you're okay and but get more.
Yeah, just drive around California
and your adventure.
Yeah.
So that is a righteous beard, though. You didn't have that last time.
I was working on it. Yeah, it's getting better.
Rich is trying to look over at the road. That's it. So, my best to your family.
Appreciate
You
it.
guys have fun. Be safe.
Thank you.
All right, Brian.
Okay.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for coming on again.
Take care.
All right, man. That's Brian Culpin. He just we heard drives around with his family.
That's awesome.
Does not buy pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
And
chop it up at least.
Oh, goodness sakes. But it's amazing what they do.
Yeah. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like it could be stressful at times, maybe, but
Well, I mean, I think you're just trading stresses, right?
it sounds like it.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah. Probably.
What do you think would be the biggest stressful thing doing that lifestyle? I wouldn't be bitching about the dogs pooping.
I don't know. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I love my kids and I love my family, but too much togetherness.
They're not going.
Say who said anything about kids?
No, I'm saying like
what they're doing?
Yeah.
They're all adults.
Oh no,
No.
my kids are adults. They do what they do.
Huh?
It'd be too much for me. And like I said, I need a home base. I need a place where I can just decompress by myself.
It sounds like they can do that. It sounds like
Yeah.
they travel for 3 hours, they get out and do what they got to do, maybe. And I'm sure they have time away from each other. Otherwise,
Maybe if I was in a different point in my life, like his kids are all young.
that in itself is a stressor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. He's got 4 young boys.
I know how
I remember when
stressed out-
Tegan was born.
Yeah.
I mean, we were working together and everything. And, so Tegan's almost 12, like he said. And just
A 2-year-old?
3
3-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it was the baby was an infant when they left.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
amazing.
My girls were fine, but add my boy into the mix, and he was crazy all the time. I was stressed out. Beyond belief. He's calmed down quite a bit. He has. He's a lot older now, and
And he brings
More
home lots of chips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
what? 5 cases of 4 or 6 cases of chips yesterday?
The perk
Wow.
of your son working at
Frito-Lay.
Frito-Lay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He brings home cases of chips.
Well, it's funny when he first started working there. I told him, I said, I'm going to change. I'm going to call you a different name now. He said, what? He goes, I'm going to call you Chip. Chip Staniski. And he actually kind of liked it. And then
A couple of times
stopped.
now he's brought home stuff. It's
Yeah.
fun.
We got lots of smart food.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah, I don't eat the stuff,
Doritos,
but yeah,
Fritos.
not a big chip person.
Well, we're going to be.
You're gonna have to be now.
Snack time.
Well, hey, that'll keep him happy for a while too, as long as he throws his bags away and doesn't throw them all over the floor of his room.
That's a problem. Typical boys
He
room.
may be 19, but he's still a slob in his room.
Yeah.
What? We're lucky to get our bowls back.
Oh, tell me.
Hey, I want to have a bowl of cereal. Oh, there's no bowls.
Every
They're in
time-
Cameron's room.
Every time I wonder where my
Oh,
coffee
funny.
cups are, I have to go
Yeah,
upstairs.
coffee cups,
Yeah.
forks. We couldn't for the longest. We had no forks. I don't know where all the forks were.
You gotta
They
move.
vanished.
He cleaned his room, and all of a sudden, I had forks.
You got to move the bed.
Yeah,
That's the.
yeah.
Which one I bet?
Yeah.
It's a hiding spot.
Bunch of stuff under there.
No, I'm sure.
Just follow the smell.
I went in
Things
there
that
one
you
day.
won't want to see, but
I went in there one day last week and collected all the bowls because I got so frustrated. I wasn't waiting for him.
So that was cool. Another
Yeah,
nice.
that was interesting. A little toss
nice,
up.
visit with Brian. So there's something I wanted to mention too. One of the things that we're doing is like we try to keep the community connected, whether it's news or just public interest stuff, or we've started there's another thing that started here at the building here at 70 Main Street at Paragon Co-op is it's a room that we have here called it's not altogether put together yet. I don't even know how to really present this correctly yet, but we're going to call it POD, POD, and does not stand for Prince of Darkness or anything like that, but it stands for People on Demand.
Yeah.
And it's going to be open to anybody that wants to record something, whether it's audio, video, whether you want to start your own podcast, your old one-off show, you want to record birthday greetings for somebody that's turning 50 or 100 or whatever. There's so many things. If you want to do classes, and you want to do them online, you can do that as well. So you don't have to actually have, space in your house. That would be quiet. You know what I mean? So like if you're doing like a CPR class or something like that, you could do it online instead. You don't have to worry about, hey, calm down over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, that's something. So we're going to be doing that. And if anybody is interested, let me know. And we already have
prices and everything done.
Kind of, sort of, but no, okay. not set in stone. So,
okay.
So we're going to ask people to jump in the pod.
Sounds fun.
Get in the pod, man. Get in the pod.
Excellent.
Because everybody's got a podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to, something. Everything's going that way. Whether it's multimedia or whatever. And you can, anything pretty much audio, video, as long as it's legal, within the state of Connecticut.
Well, that's good.
We're not going to, we're not going to be doing like casting couch videos, that kind of stuff. Melissa goes, darn.
Oh, well.
Oh, God, I was hoping.
I had to rethink my plan.
It does have a green screen, yes. There's a green screen there, so we can put you anywhere. So jump in the pod, man. It's called Pod, and we'll be presenting more about that in some time. So anyway, all right, we're done.
Giddy up.
Good show. Glad Brian.
It was pretty cool
today. We'll have him on again in a couple of months.
I want to hear about Alaska. I've always wanted to go to Alaska or like the northern part of Canada.
Well, I know I was talking to Jim Barney here in town, and he said, and he's done this. He's driven from Washington State to Alaska. It's like 6 weeks.
Oh gosh,
something like that. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy drive. So, or maybe it's shorter than that, but maybe 6 days. I don't know.
I think it depends on how you travel.
Yeah. He was driving.
No, I mean like stopping once in a while, stopping every 3 hours like they do. That'll definitely lengthen your trip.
So once again, congratulations to the Griswold Wolverine basketball team for making the state semifinals. And now it's on to baseball and softball. We got to move on. We'd like to see basketball continue and watch that team make even more memories. But it's time to move on to baseball, and we'll see what happens with the Griswold Wolverines on the diamond set of the court. So, all right, we're out of here. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Paul and Chris will be here on
Retirement Row.
Retiree Row, right here on SNSN.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Life's been tough, and it's even tougher than ever to find a good therapist. But these days, all you hear is, sorry, we aren't accepting new patients. Next time, reach out to Life's Journey Counseling Services. They're located on Main Street, right in the middle of Jewett City, and they are accepting new patients right now. Individual, couples, family, and group counseling are all services available at Life's Journey Counseling Services in Jewett City. Find them online at lifesjourneyct.com and click on Book Appointment for information on how to start or to simply get questions answered. Life's Journey Counseling Services has multiple therapists on staff, so your questions, concerns, and counseling needs will all be met. lifesjourneyct.com. It's the best place to start your personal journey to heal, become a better version of yourself, and strengthen your relationships. Life's Journey Counseling Services, 70 Main Street here in Jewett City, lifesjourneyct.com.
Mike Minarski, and Rich Wassel.